What are 5 easy steps to build slides and presentations in management consulting? Hi everyone, my name is Johannes and welcome to this channel. I'm a strategy consultant and on this channel I share my thoughts, learnings and experiences about consulting, business and mindset. And if you're new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Also leave a thumb up. This would really help to grow this channel and support what we are doing here. And today I will share 5 easy steps to build PowerPoint presentations and slides. And step number 1 is that you write an outline and a vertical. And this basically means that you write the outline in a very simple bullet point format to get an idea about the structure of your presentation. This should be typically step number one. After that, what you also do in the vertical is that you outline the action titles of each slide. And this will give you a very good understanding about the storyline that you want to tell. In this first step, so the vertical, which means the outline in bullet point formats, and also the storyline, so all the action titles in a row. So this is typically the first document that I would review with the project manager or with the partner to align on the story. And this is typically what you do before you work on the PowerPoint slides. This is very important that you do this step before you work on a PowerPoint presentation, because as a first step you need to align on the story, on the structure, because it will take a lot of time, a lot of effort to change all the PowerPoint slides afterwards if you already worked on the slides without having aligned the structure. So this is step number 1, working on the vertical. Step number 2 is that if the storyline is aligned, that you transfer this vertical into a PowerPoint document. And this is what we call in consulting a strawman. A strawman is typically a deck with all the dummy slides that you want to have in the presentation. And what you typically do is that for each slide that you want to include, that you add a dummy slide, that you include the preliminary action title that you think that this slide will have without knowing the exact content, but you lay out the structure for the action title. And then you put a sticker on the slide and maybe write some bullet points, what kind of content you want to have in there. Maybe you already have some ideas how the slide should look like. And this is a document with a lot of dummy slides, all with action titles and stickers. And this is what we call a strawman. That gives you a very good idea about the kind of amount of slides that you will have and the structure of the presentation again. If you have aligned the strawman, so step number 2, it's time to go to step number 3. And this is means that you include the slide blueprint so that you work on the form of the slides. What you typically do is that you take a look at the action title and then think about what kind of slide blueprint can I use for this slide. So let's say you maybe have a action title that compares to aspects of a company. Then you can say, okay, you choose a blueprint, a slide blueprint, where you have a comparable list, for example. And depending on the company you work for, you very often, in most cases, have a broad and a very large slide library. And those are slide templates that you can use so that you don't have to build every slide from scratch. And you typically at this stage in step number 3 include or just copy paste the slide blueprints that you want to have on the slide. Then it's time to go to step number 4, and this is where you actually work on the content of a slide. So this means after you selected the slide blueprint, let's stick with the example, so you have those lists of comparisons, and then you actually write the text. And this is also the time where you probably adjust your slide blueprint, because the slide blueprint is only for kind of general purposes. In most cases you still have to adjust the slide because maybe you need 2 more items, 2 less items, you maybe need another column or row, so this highly depends, and you include the content and adjust the slide. And once you have done that, and once you have aligned the content of the slides with your project manager or the partner, only then it's time for step number 5, and this is the design and the quality checks. And this means that after you aligned on the content, that you take the extra time to really make the slide look nice. So this means that maybe you want to include some icons, maybe you do some brush up with the slides. Very often you send the slides, especially if you work in strategy consulting, to the slide support service. so that it really make the slide look very, very fancy. Also, in this last step, it's time to do a final quality check. So you go through the text, you check all the grammar, you check for spelling mistakes, you check for consistency in a grammar structure, for example, or if we talk about certain numbers that you included. And this is, after step 5 is the point where you send out the final presentation. So those are the 5 steps. So keep in mind, step number 1, writing the outline and the vertical. Step number 2, transferring the vertical into a Strawman. Step number 3, selecting the slide blueprints for your slides. Step number 4, working out the content for a slide. Step number 5, doing quality and design checks and finalizing the slides. So of course I'm interested, what kind of slide building process do you have? Do you have any kind of experiences? Then please leave a comment below and let us know. If this video brought value to you, then please subscribe to this channel. Also leave a thumb up. This would really support the channel. And with that being said, I wish you a very successful week and a very successful day. Hope to talk to you soon. Goodbye, Johannes.